pointed out some frightening realities about living in the United States, and I wanted to talk about just a few of them that I find the most disturbing. The first one is I'm hearing that Norfolk Southern actually went around the community where the train derailed and told people they would test their water for free as long as they signed a waiver, and this waiver makes it impossible for the citizens who signed to sue the company. Which is wild to think about because the EPA and everyone else in the area says that it's safe for people to live, but animals are dying, plant life is dying, people are seeing weird things in the water. I mean, you can see the chemicals in the water, in people's tap water. People are talking about rain smelling like chlorine. Air quality index reports show that the air quality is safe, but people are experiencing something that's quite a bit different. So it's like, not only is the railroad company hedging themselves and protecting themselves legally, but government agencies seem to not be interested in protecting residents either. Like, where's the EPA on this? Why isn't anybody getting arrested? And actually, the people that wind up getting arrested, if anybody is, it's going to be the workers, not the people who are responsible for overworking them, underpaying them, understaffing the teams and crews that were trying to unionize before all of this happened. The other really disturbing thing about this is that nobody's reporting on this entire thing. It's almost exclusively TikTok and Twitter that's carrying this story because Fox won't report on it, CNN won't report on it. When they do, it's very minimal coverage. And I guess that makes sense when you consider that 30% of Norfolk Southern, the company that caused this whole crash to happen, the ones that are responsible, they're owned primarily by BlackRock and Vanguard, the two largest stakeholders in this company. They're both hedge funds. And incidentally, CNN, which is owned by Warner Discovery, and Fox News, which is owned by Disney, Vanguard and BlackRock are the two major shareholders in both of those companies. So the people that have a majority shareholder stake in the railroad that derailed also have a majority stake in the media companies that would be reporting on it. The other thing that I've been thinking about that just is so disturbing to consider is preppers have always gotten this bad rap. They've been written off as the crazy people, storing up food in case of a doomsday apocalypse, and everybody just assumes that that's not going to happen because society is going to break down very quickly, and you're not actually going to be able to eat your food that you prepped with because raiders are going to come and take it all. But the reality is those are the only people that are prepared for this, because we have no idea how this is going to affect us long term. And it's going to get into our food because most of the grains are produced in that area. And this time next year, all of the grains that come up during this growing season are going to be in the cereal, they're going to be in the bread, they're going to be in everything. And it's going to take a decade, maybe more, for all of the cancers that will cause to show in the population. And the only way to avoid it is if you've been stockpiling food for decades. These people that are prepared to be able to weather this storm, whether they're in Ohio or not, they're the same people that we've all, the mainstream media included, have called crazy. And they might be the only people who actually have the ability to insulate themselves from this ecological disaster. And the thing that makes me the most angry is at the end of the day, it doesn't matter who's responsible for this because nobody's going to be held accountable. And it just blows my mind because Gen Z is too young to remember this, but pre-2008, it really felt like America was the land of the free, where anybody could build their fortune, where people could just live a simple life and be left alone. But after the financial collapse and the US government bailed out all the very people who caused that, it's been crisis after crisis after crisis, where it sure feels like it's the American government allied with capitalists against the population of the United States. And this is just another event that makes that feel more real than ever. And that alliance usually manifests itself in a media that's difficult or impossible to trust, or information that's impossible to find. And the truth just is virtually non-existent. Like, we don't know what the truth is ever, because it's almost always twisted to make these agencies or groups or corporations or government officials look better than they actually are. And I have no idea what the answer to all of this is. I don't know if there's a way out for any of us, except for the people at the top that are already running the system. What do we do? So this Ohio train disaster